Good morning, everyone. Um, it's Sue here from Rusty and Unhinged Restorations. I'm going to be doing a removal of the current finish and adding a new finish to these vintage card drawers. They're beautifully made in very heavy Tasmanian Blackwood timber, brass handles, very deep drawers, absolutely stunning, with a wood sliding mechanism which you can see at the back of that drawer there to bring the cards forward or long. I didn't pay that much for them. I started one already, and I've got two of them. They're going to be listed on my Etsy store, which is called Rusty and Unhinged. So please do have a look. I've already started on this one, just one side of one of them, just to show that's the before, that's the after in the raw. Just using a combination of my mouse sander with 120 grit sandpaper and my carbide scraper, just to really start removing gouges, quite some deep gouges on these, um, pen marks, texture marks, sticker, glue, gunk, and lots to remove, lots to clean up. Just about here, I've noticed that this is the back panel, so the rear side of the drawers, and I'm just doing a little bit of hole punching because all of the nails have just slightly elevated, and their heads are poking above the surface. Just making sure they're tucked well in. Okay, so the two filing cabinets are now stripped. All the drawers are stripped, and ready for an application of what I've decided to do is not stain them at all. The Blackwood grain, which is very hard to pick up, and I promise you I'll get better at this filming thing. The grain is popping and is beautiful for the Tasmanian Blackwood wood. So I've decided to use an oil, and I've chosen to use tung oil diluted 1 to 1 with methylated spirits. I think you call it mineral spirits in other countries. And it's popping the grain beautifully. I'm already thrilled with it. It's bringing it out in a lovely golden honey hue. And I'll sand that off when it's dry. It'll actually also increase the drying time. So diluting the tung oil with the metho or methylated spirits will cut the drying time significantly. Down in Tasmania, waiting for tung oil to dry is painful. It can take weeks before it stops feeling tacky, but methylated spirits can make all the difference. So almost finished this one. Just putting the tunnel on the final. I think this is the final panel. Actually, it's not the final panel. I've got to do the underneath panel, but I'll have to do that at the end when all the other panels are dry. For those of you that can see that there are still some marks on the box, indeed I've deliberately left some of them on there. There were certainly some deep gouges and I have sanded it back quite a bit to remove them, but I've opted to keep not so much the deep gouges but some of the marks. I haven't wanted to take too much off, so I've deliberately left it there. They are old, they are very vintage. They have been handled obviously a lot by a lot of people, being a card system back in the day, and I don't want them to look perfect. That's not my goal, just beautiful. Beautiful, functional, and I don't want to erase the history, or at least I don't want to erase the entire history. So that's now fully covered in an application of tongue oil and ready to be packed away for a minimum of 24 hours in a dry spot, which it is. And I've already done the drawers to this one too, which I didn't do on camera. I'll just show you those. They came up nice. I'll just pick them up with my clean rag. Beautiful. Obviously that's where the hinge goes, so that's, I'm not worried about that square bit. Beautiful. Also, I did go ahead and boil the brass handles in vinegar and dishwashing detergent and scrub them with Barkeeper's Friend. I totally forgot to put the camera on for that, I'm sorry. But here's the finished result. They were black. They were dark brown. They were brown and grey. Now they're beautiful. So it's the next day and that box is all dry, perfect. I don't even want to do another coat of tongue oil on it, but I have gone ahead and off camera I did do an extra coat on a coat of tongue oil on the bottom or the underside of the drawers. I did peruse on whether to use a water-based or an oil-based, and I'm going to go ahead and use an oil-based poly, which I just showed you on screen. I use Feast and Watson. I love their products, which are available from Bunnings in Australia. And I thought it was going to make it more yellow, and it didn't. And here's me using my recycled, clean as a whistle rags with permanent stains on them. I re-buy my cotton rags probably once a year, and I try to reuse them where I can, which I was taught to do in one of my restoration courses that I've attended. I think it's great. So I'm just getting the box now. So keeping in mind I've got 2 of these, so I've only done one of them on camera. They're identical, you know, other than the fact that they're scratched differently. They're an identical Tasmanian Blackwood vintage card systems. Beautiful. I'll do a little speeding up for you on this one from here on. Just working on the second set of drawers now. I'm nearly at the finish line. I'll end up doing another couple of coats of this poly, oil-based poly by Feast and Watson, but I'll end up doing that off camera because I don't think you need to see me doing the same repetitive task over and over again. So now 3 coats of poly, which is an oil-based varnish protective layer, has been applied to both of the card systems thoroughly, and now I'm ready to put the original brass pulls back on. So the original brass pulls have been cleaned thoroughly in vinegar dishwashing liquid, Barkeeper's Friend, and now lightly sprayed with a brass spray, which actually has come out looking quite gold and looking exceptionally beautiful. I love these, they're so beautiful. Not perfect because they're old, they've still got some history and character, but they're beautifully beautiful. I also removed the rust from the original nails that were holding in these pulls, so I'm using the same original nails. I need to buy myself a little tiny hammer. I'm using the same nails, but I have also spray painted off camera the top of the nails as well, So it's all the same colour and beautiful. Like somewhere around here it starts to dawn on me that I probably shouldn't be hitting the top of the brass pulls and then brass nails with this hammer. Anyway, I start to wake up in a second. You'll see. Well, that concludes my first inaugural YouTube video ever. Please feel welcome to give me any feedback you like on how I went with editing, lighting, the music. I'm open to receiving feedback provided it's kind and constructive. That's all I ask. I'll do the same in return. That goes the same for my restoration process as well. So also welcome kind and constructive comments. Thank you. It's all finished. After this I'll be showing you the before and after shots, and thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching me.